Hi. The next paper in the What Does It Mean to Be a Blank research assignment series is the bibliography. Part of why I have you go through a very specific series of assignments is to provide a model of what to do when you have to go about writing a research paper on your own without somebody holding your hand like me. So once you have your topic and you've written a little bit in your own voice, it's time to start researching. And writing a bibliography as you work on research will save you time later and will help to keep you organized. So, what is a bibliography? A bibliography is a list of citations. Bibliographies are similar to the more familiar works cited page, except that a bibliography includes all the sources that someone has consulted during their research. A bibliography looks exactly like a works cited page in terms of formatting. But a bibliography differs from a works cited because it includes all the works consulted during the research process. Works cited only include sources mentioned directly in the paper. This means that bibliographies tend to be longer than works cited. You tend to find bibliographies at the end of long academic works like books, while works cited pages tend to occur in shorter articles. Finally, bibliographies can stand alone as a document in their own right, while works cited are always associated with a paper, some larger work. If you are struggling with citations, please take a look at the Moodle link to a YouTube video titled Understanding MLA Style. By the way, you don't have to use MLA style, that's just what I'm teaching. A reminder that I'm not expecting perfection with your citations. I expect you to show that you have tried and are making an effort to be fair to your external sources. If you need to use a citation generator, go for it, with the knowledge that citation generators can make stupid mistakes sometimes. If you are learning APA or Chicago style for your major, please go ahead and use that style for more practice. It is a good idea to practice and get to know those styles now. For this particular bibliography, what I'm looking for is a reminder of your topic idea around 50 words. You'll be able to reuse this in future assignments. Then 6 citations in alphabetical order. You can see that in my meme, there's a 6 in red. I used to say 5 to 6 sources, but I noticed students who had 6 sources were in better shape than those who had 5 or fewer. So aim high with 6 sources on your bibliography. So here's an example of what the bibliography would look like. So notice first how short it is. I already have my working title at the top. I have my topic reminder below that at the top of the page, and then I have 6 citations. You can find this example on Moodle in the course documents in a file titled Example, What Does It Mean to Be a Blank Research Assignment Series. Please feel free to look at that. I find it so helpful to look at examples when I'm struggling to write citations. So some students may think that assignment like this is busy work, but I would argue that the bibliography serves a lot of important purposes. There are 2 really practical purposes. One reason I make you do this is to keep you from procrastinating. Most students will absolutely wait until the very last minute to do any work on their research papers. And that is not only stressful for the student, but it also means that they are less likely to do well on the project as they'd like. Another reason I do this is that your citations are written and ready to go when you start working on your papers. Then all you have to do is copy and paste the citations straight into the final draft. It will really save you time later. So another reason I do this is because of a pet theory of mine. First, your brain is always working, even when you're not aware of it and when you're not actively using it. When you introduce new information to the brain, you have to give it time to make sense of that information and incorporate it into the long-term memory. When it comes to research, if you do some research up front, it gives your brain time to do its brain magic. And you'll find that you'll find it easier to use and incorporate your sources later. Be a precrastinator, not a procrastinator. So someone might also ask, why use sources to begin with? Well, the first reason is because you have to write with sources as part of the objectives for this class created by the university and the state. So you have to. But it also, using sources also serve a lot of purposes. I think it's easier to fill up pages when you've incorporated sources because you simply have more content available to use. Along those same lines, with sources, you don't have to do all the thinking on your own. There are other people who have done some of that work for you. So just cite them instead of reinventing the wheel on your own. Finally, including sources is a fundamental part of what it means to be an academic in higher education. It places you in a conversation with other people. So just do it, okay? Not using sources makes you look like you live in an echo chamber and like you refuse to accept input from other people. As you work on this project, please think creatively about your sources. There are so many potential sources of information for you to use, like interviews, fiction, poetry, memoir, art, imagery, TV shows and movies, music and lyrics, books, journal articles, magazine articles, newspaper articles, blog articles, and so much more. There's so much. So what you should do is look for sources that provide definitions of the identity you're writing about. Describe experiences similar to yours that you can compare with your own. Illustrate experiences different from yours. Some sources that include interesting statistics related to your identity, or provide a unique way to see the identity that you're writing about. Finally, something that relates to what you love about your identity. So if you can't find sources, ask for help from either me or a librarian. We might be able to help you find synonyms and search terms that you hadn't thought of that will lead to good information. So I'll stress this again. We have this email, or this PowerPoint has Ben Bullen, who also has helped my classes in the past. He's another librarian that you are welcome to contact. I just had my doorbell ring. And there is his email there if you need someone to help you. One more time, a brief reminder of this is what we're looking for in your bibliography. You begin with a brief reminder of your topic idea, around 50 words, 6 neat and correct citations of sources in alphabetical order, and finally, correct citation format. Let's take a look at the grading guide real quick. So, your evaluation criteria, you will get a point for your topic reminder at the top of the page, a point for having 6 sources, a point for alphabetized citations, 2 points for correct citations, and a point for appropriate sources for your topic. Notice that you get 2 points for correct and neat citation format. Just notice that. So do your best. You'll also know that there's more downtime this week. Use it to start researching. I will let you know that the video for the citation example is a little longer than my normal videos, more like 14 or 15 minutes. So you might want to plan for that. But other than that, you have fewer things to do this week. So you go hang out at the library this week. That'd be awesome. Okay, all you excellent scholars, time to get to work. Happy researching!